Okay, so I can start. So let's start with the role of a vessel operator. Is a vessel operator a person or entity?
Is an entity.
Okay, and let me just
Well,
share with.
it is. It's a funny one because
Mm.
a vessel operator could be an individual in a chartering company. It is a role. It's a position in chartering companies or trading companies. But I believe the purpose of your question is focusing on the entity, an entity that is operating vessels.
Yes.
Right.
Let me just share with you a screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
I will drag it to my bigger screen so I can read it. Right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So there is a list of definition of roles sitting in a RightShip platform itself, which is, as you can see here, the role of a beneficial owner, registered owner, commercial manager, commercial operator, technical manager, and DOC company.
Yeah.
So for the role of a vessel operator, I would like to understand if there is any roles under this list that's best describe the role of a vessel operator.
Yeah, well, the answer to this question might vary depending on who you are asking the question to. That is why you don't see vessel operator within these entity within the screen of yours. Because when you say vessel operator, it could be a technical manager who's a vessel operator operating the vessel technically.
Yep.
Or a vessel operator could be a commercial operator who is operating the vessel commercially. So that is why wording vessel operator is not one of these you showing me now, because it may cause confusion depending on who is looking at it.
Yeah. So is there like industry standard is there a right term for the role of a vessel operator?
Well, again, if you're talking about technical operations, the technical manager is the right title.
Okay. So I can safely say that perhaps the role of a technical manager under this definition of roles is the closest to the role of a vessel operator, if I'm referring to this list.
Again, it's 50-50. Either technical. Bear with me a second. Sorry.
Sure, no problem.
Sorry. It's 50-50. Either technical operator or commercial operator. So that falls in between technical manager and commercial operator. It really depends on the context.
Okay, I will.
So maybe
maybe
we should acknowledge this and use, instead of using vessel operator, we should use technical manager.
Yeah.
And commercial operator, or technical operator or commercial operator. So that will differentiate clearly.
Okay. Let me get back to the other questions.
Is our focus about our customer profile?
Yes, that's right.
Then the answer, if you're looking at the vessel operator within our customer profile, then it is technical manager.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And the next thing is that what is the role and responsibility of a vessel operator?
So I will
in
again,
that case, a technical
manager. Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, a technical manager, it could be in-house to vessel owner. So there are two types of technical managers. One first type, ship owner has a technical management in-house. So whilst owning the vessel, he or she also has a team of technical operators and running their ships on their own. Second type is a ship owner, doesn't want to deal with technical matters or day-to-day, and they give the vessel to a third-party service provider, and third-party service provider technical managers manage those vessels on behalf of the ship owner, and ship owner pay them a fee. So what do? They basically are responsible of all the day-to-day operations of the vessel, how the vessel is run on a day-to-day basis, how the crew is how the vessel is manned, how the crew is given or provided to the vessel, supplies, spare part provision, etc., and other logistic issues, as well as providing technical support to the crew.
Okay. And what sort of vessels does he operate?
Sorry, say again?
What sort of vessel does he operate?
Oh, any type.
Is there some examples?
Oh, any merchant vessel. It could be dry bulk, container, tankers, gas carriers, cruise vessels. All vessels, they have technical managers or vessel operators.
Do we have any understanding what would be a large part of our customer base? Would it be dry bulk or tankers or what sort?
Well, I think our customer base is mostly dry bulk, but there are plenty of customers operating mixed fleets.
Okay. And what are the areas they look into during vessel planning?
Well, vessel's itinerary. Where is the vessel trading to? Vessels are probably from the engine side, bunker consumptions, fuel consumptions, daily fuel consumptions, vessel speed, on a daily basis, supplies to a vessel, provision, spare parts, and how these are logistically managed depending on vessel's trading area. Vessel certification. If vessel certification, a certificate or set of certificates are expiring, then they are responsible of arranging relevant inspections or surveys with other parties like flag and class.
Yes.
And they're also responsible of crew changes. So if there is a need of crew change, either because of the contract term or some extraordinary situation that crew needs to be relieved, then they are responsible of arranging the crew change. And also they are responsible of establishing and implementing safety management system on board. So they are responsible of updating that management system, auditing the management system on board, and providing support to the crew in the context of safety management.
Mm-hmm. And who do they liaise with on the daily basis?
With the senior management on board, either the captain on board.
Does their job require them to do a lot of documentation?
Mm-hmm. They do.
What sort of documentation?
Certification,
I
think, is the most, and lots of purchase orders, invoicing, etc. Auditing, and crew certification. Vessel certification. So they are all responsible of maintaining and monitoring the validity of all these certificates belong to vessel and or crew members. And also, they receive day-to-day reports. That is called NUN report from the vessel. That is basically to measure vessel's performance throughout the voyage, or throughout the charter party. So they manage the liabilities towards the charter in terms of vessel speed and consumptions and performance.
I see. And that leads to me to the next question. So does their job require them to handle financial payments to the different parties?
Yes. They do pay to the agents, port agents. They do pay to suppliers. This could be either a bunker supplier, spare part supplier, or manufacturer of a machinery, ship chandlers, like for provision and other sort of supplies.
Okay. And what do they need to do to increase their productivity?
Well, they need to obviously centralize all their softwares. If they use different softwares for provision orders, if they use different software for spare part orders, if they use different software for planned maintenance system or safety management system, or performance measurement purposes, basically, and this is the trend across the ship operators, they are centralizing all those activities in one platform. And there are such platforms available. And they basically operate their day-to-day activities within one platform that they offer every single leg in one location. And also they need to have a digital capabilities on board. So they need lesser human interaction. They get the data straight from the machinery or vessel equipment into the system. So either it's a live data flow or regular data flow coming into the data, the system that they use. So they need lesser human interaction and more accurate data. There are service providers making this possible.
Oh, right.
Or bigger companies, they invest into this and build their own.
Yeah. And how do they ensure vessels are operating safely at sea or in port?
Well,
as a technical manager?
So the technical manager has their biggest responsibility is creating a safety management system and implementing it on board of their managed vessels. So safety management system covers basically all the day-to-day operations that the crew performs on board and more. So it contains all the requirements that the company has to manage the vessel safely or operate the vessel safely. And they train the crew members according to that safety management system. And then they perform regular audits on board, or they invite third parties like vessel classification society to come on board and perform an audit over safety management system and validate the effectiveness of the safety management.
And what must they do to make sure that, you know, the vessels are operating efficiently?
Sorry, who? What was the beginning of the question?
What must they do to make sure the vessels are operating efficiently?
What must they do? Well, obviously they need to perform. Well, they need to look at the performance indicators. So each safety management system requires ship to report non-conformities to the office or improvement suggestions to the office. So the company or technical manager can improve the standards and keep up with the developments in the industry. And they continue to receive feedback from the crew. Also, they perform audits on board, but also they have third-party inspections, like, for instance, Raship inspection is one of them. Or if it is a tanker, SIRE inspection regime is one of those, or port state inspections. So there are different parties coming on board and performing inspections and giving the vessel and the technical managers or vessel operators non-conformities or deficiencies or observations. Each party might have different naming, and these are opportunities for the ship manager, to improve their safety management system and operate the vessel safely. Also, other than the safety management system, crew training is also important element. So you need to retain the crew members that are familiar with your safety management system and with your vessels. So they come back to the same vessels that they are familiar with. And then you, as a ship manager, you keep investing the training of the crew to ensure that they're professionally progressing and improving, so they continue running safer vessels.
And what do they value most, and what is their main goal?
Well, their main goal is to run vessels as efficient as possible, reduce the ballast legs, which means the voyages that vessel perform without cargo on board. That is not desired situation for a ship manager. Ship owner or manager always want to have cargo on board so they can make money. And obviously avoiding incidents, avoiding detentions by operating safer vessels.
I see. And what are the key risks that, you know, a technical manager might face?
Risk? Well, if it is a third-party service provider, then the risk probably is that ship owner is not happy about the service they get, and they take their vessels and go and work with different technical manager. If it is an in-house, then the risk is different. Probably a ship owner is going out of the business, changing investment decisions, or bankrupt. But if we look at it from not from the business perspective but operational perspective, probably the biggest risk is vessel breakdown, lack of skilled crew members, technical vessel going off hire due to technical difficulties on board. So they lose money, ship owner lose money. And also reputational risk. If there is a major incident or loss of life, then the nature of shipping is you get easily publicized and you're exposed to huge amount of reputational risk.
And what are the steps they can take to minimize or overcome risk?
Well, having a strong safety management system, having well-trained and skilled crew members, and investing into skill set both on board and on shore, having maintaining sustainable growth in their business, having enough resources both on shore and in the crewing pool. I think these are the keys for ideal technical managers.
Do we have any understanding what sort of tools they are currently using?
Not other than our current platform.
And are this group of people, are they tech savvy?
No, they're quite open. They're quite open to improvements, and no, they're not really.
So we can safely say that they are open to digital tools and platforms and such.
No, absolutely.
What sort of RightShip features are they currently using?
Well, most of them, they use Safety Score. That's the main reason, to ensure vessel has desired safety score. If vessel doesn't have a desired safety score, then how they can get the safety score to that desired level, and hence they use features that allow them to upload documents to port states, to incidents, and for GHG verifications, so they keep the vessel details up to date. Unfortunately, currently there is no enough benchmarking insights available to those companies to see where their vessels sit in terms of safety performance, in terms of port state performance, in terms of RightShip inspection performance. They have to do lots of manual labor to pull out that data, because we don't give them the insights in a more user-friendly way or in a form that they can easily access to.
What sort of features will they be looking out for? What sort of features can we build for them?
Well, we can definitely build more insights. So they can see, let's say, if they have a ship owner, if a technical manager is managing 10 ships, if they can see the summary of how these vessels are performing, port state performance summary, incident performance summary, what are the trends, patterns in terms of non-conformities, deficiencies, observations, right ship inspection summary, what are the trends across their fleet in terms of non-conformities, and these can be presented in more detail so they have the insights and easy access to the data.
Yeah.
And then a comparison would be extremely useful to them, comparison of their fleet with the rest of the fleet. So where the vessels sit or where they sit as a ship operator in the industry. So they can set targets, KPIs to improve their position. That would be one. And also we've been talking about sort of vessel particle questionnaire, VPQ. I believe this is now in the agenda, but I'm not sure about the priority. So basically, excuse me, ship operators, they are required by the charterers to fill in some questionnaires before they fix the vessel for a business. And although the content is mainly similar, each charterer has different questionnaire. They use their own questionnaires. So basically, a ship or technical manager or vessel operator is fixing the vessel or nominating the vessel today to a charterer. They are required to fill in a form, and then next week they are working with different charter, and that charter also require them to fill up a form, but basically it's different form with the same content. So they have to, that basically impact their labor and resources, because they have to keep filling the same information into different forms, because each party uses different sort of template. If we can centralize that into the platform, that would be, I believe, an incredibly useful tool to charterers, and also it will help reduce the workload on operators, because once they complete that form we provide, that's it. They don't have to do it again, because charterers would have access to it via RightShip's platform, if that makes sense.
And in terms of the questionnaires, what would be the kind of questions that that we'll be asking for?
Vessel technical details. I have provided a couple of examples to Seb in the past. I think he has done some pro-work on this. I'm not sure what stage is this at, but technical details of a vessel, main technical specs like length overall, beam, air draft, and cargo hold capacities if it is a bulk carrier, or cargo tank capacities if it's a tanker, engine power, heat, yeah, things like that.
Okay. And is there any scenario whereby a technical manager could be a charterer or ship owner at the same time, meaning that they are playing more than one roles in one?
It might, yes. So a ship owner ship owner might be a technical manager of their own ships, but also they might have a chartering arm, and they might be chartering some external vessels. It is not common. It is not common, but it could be.
What would make up the majority of our current customer base?
Our majority of customer base is ship owner. Ship owner, technical manager, or third-party technical manager.
And if it's a combination, what would be the common combination?
Common combination is ship owner, technical manager.
Okay. Right. Okay. Let's move on to the next role. The role of a ship owner.
Right.
Is a ship owner a person or entity?
It's an entity.
And as an entity, what kind of services does a ship owner provide?
Ship owner provides service to a charterer by offering their ships to carry cargo.
And what is the role and responsibility of a ship owner?
Responsibility of a ship owner. So basically, ship owner gets into a charter party with the charterer or shipper, or the owner of the cargo, and make a contractual promise that he or she will carry the cargo from A to B safely and deliver within a contractually agreed time window.
How do they keep their ships safe and operate efficiently?
Well, they either operate their ships with their in-house technical management team, or they go and get service from third-party service providers, i.e. third-party technical management companies. So they pay them a fee. Ship owner pays the service provider fee to manage their vessels on their behalf. And if ship owners choose to operate their vessels safely and efficiently, because basically there's an investment, vessels require skilled crew members to run the vessel safely. So that's an investment. You go and find good quality, well-trained, well-experienced, skilled crew members and retain them over time. And you invest in your team in the office and work with a reputable classification society, work with a reputable flag state, and establish a high-quality safety management system, and pursue basically improvement, basically pretty much the same things that we discussed earlier under the technical management or vessel operator title. Ship owner does this or ensures this via either in-house or third-party technical management companies.
And what type of inspection do they conduct for their ships?
So ship owner, before they acquire a ship, they probably do, if they are purchasing a second-hand ship, they perform a pre-purchase survey. So that is before they actually take the ship under their entity. And then under the responsibility of technical manager, again, this could be in-house, and then you might call it ship owner. Then ship owner does regular safety management audits, classification society come on board to perform regular surveys, and then these are the required surveys and inspections or audits, let's say. Anything else is almost mandated by the market, such as right ship inspection. So ship owner doesn't have any so there is no requirement to mandate right ship inspection to a ship owner to go ahead and pay for the inspection or invite right ship for an inspection. Or similarly, for siren inspections, there is no official requirement to have their vessels regularly inspected by OCIMF, but they do that because that is a requirement in the market. That is what charterers require to fix a ship. So if a ship owner wants to work with reputable charterers and charter their vessels to reliable, good quality charterers, they have to follow those market requirements, such as right ship inspection, siren inspection, or maintaining right ship safety score.
And what do they do to minimize pollution at sea? Do they care about sea pollution?
They have to. There are lots of rules and regulations about this. So whether they care or not, they have to follow the rules. Otherwise, they commit to crime. So again, this is part of the safety management system and policies within the company, aligned with industry standards, industry requirements, but sometimes going beyond that. So basically, obviously, establishing the rules and requirements and putting them into a piece of paper doesn't solve the issue or doesn't ensure that everything is implemented properly on board, but also you need to follow up, you need to do audit, you need to train your crew members so they understand the sensitivity of these matters, and they follow the rules.
And how do they keep the cargo safe?
How do they keep this cargo safe?
Is that one of their concerns?
Yes, clearly, yes. It is. So the ship owner or via the technical manager is responsible to keep the cargo safe, keep the crew safe, keep the environment safe, and deliver their contractual liabilities. How do they do that? Again, good quality safety management, good crew, and implementing industry best practices.
And as a ship owner, what do I need to do to attract more business?
Well, as a ship owner, the customer is the charterer, as we discussed earlier. So charterer need to have your ship so you have more business. So if your ships are efficient means by speed and consumption. So if the ship is consuming lesser fuel or emitting lesser, causing lesser emissions, and still maintaining an effective speed, this is one important point, right? And then secondly, and equally important, is the track record of the fleet belong to the ship owner. So how the fleet has been performing. If the fleet of the ship owner has been having lots of incidents, lots of port state detentions, then obviously that is not a good sign. So if, as a charter, if I pick such a ship owner and then choose to work with one of their ships, then there is a likelihood that that ship might be involved in an incident or a detention. So that could cause delays and lots of claims to me as a charterer. So I would want to avoid that, if that makes sense. So if ship owner has been managing their ships safely with minimal interruption, no incidents, no detentions, and also vessels are efficient, then I attract good business.
And what do they do to keep their ships competitive?
It's difficult to answer this question because competition, the competition is changing. If, like for instance, now no one is trading to Russia.
Yeah.
There are sanctions. There are restrictions. There is a war. So if you send your ship to Russia, then the vessel is out of insurance. You put your crew in a dangerous situation because there is a war. You put your vessel into a dangerous situation because there is a war. But there are still cargoes needs to be delivered to Ukraine and Russia, or there are still cargoes needs to be taken from Ukraine and Russia. So a low competition, but big opportunity. So there are plenty of ship owners now. They're still keen to take the risk and employ their ships within the region and make lots of money. So they don't need to be competitive. They don't need to be incredibly well operating ship owners. There's an opportunity, and people who have business in the region, they don't really care how well the ship operator is. They just simply need the ship. Does it make sense what I say?
Yeah.
So
in a certain context, yes.
Yeah. So basically, the circumstances change the focus. The focus in an ideal world, the focus is, as a charterer, I would go for best performing ship, most efficient ship, and incident-free, detention-free, well-operated vessels. But circumstances might push me to focus on different areas. In an example of Ukraine-Russian war, if I have a cargo to be picked up from Ukraine, and if there are only a handful of ships available, my focus would be, okay, I'll just go in and pick a ship. Because there's a huge risk. There's very few vessels. And factors to competition is different there. Competitive, if you are talking about top charterers, and not all charterers have equal financial strength. So they consciously might go for lower quality ship operators to pay lesser freights. But if you're talking about high quality charterers, they always go for, they usually go for most efficient ships. So they're emitting lesser, they're causing lesser emissions, and they like to work with safer ships. And safer ships means in the track records of the ship owner, there are either minimal or no incidents, no detentions. The ship owner has a reputation of running high quality vessels, having well-trained and good quality crew members, and financial strength. So they are they're investing enough money for crew training, vessel maintenance, etc., etc.
What do they do to improve its ship's rating? What will they do?
In the long term, they need to improve. In the long term, they need to look into their safety management system, find the gaps, improve the safety management system, and invest in crew training, and avoid incidents and detentions. That would improve vessel safety score in the long term. So if vessel doesn't have incidents or port states, detentions, sorry, and then safety score will improve over time.
And do they sorry.
Sorry, go
on. Do they value GHG?
Yes. Yes, because charterers value GHG. So ship owners' main motivation is how their vessels are esteemed by charterers. Their only motivation, their only incentive, or their main incentive, let's put it this way, their main incentive is to present their vessels to charter. And if the charter value the GHG, ship owner values the GHG. Simple. So if there was no requirement from charterers about safety score, RightShip vetting, or vessel GHG, most of the ship owners would walk away from our membership.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, logically. And what must they do to keep a good reputation as a ship owner?
Well, again, incident-free, and deliver your contractual liabilities, promises. And it is very important in shipping business that you build good relationship with charterers, and you maintain that good relationship over time. It's really important. So basically, they keep their promises to charterers, and these promises obviously include delivering the cargo and vessel safely and within an agreed time window, and not causing any disruption to the charter's business.
What do they value most, and what is their main goal?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
As a ship owner, what would they value most, and what would be their main goal?
what they value the most.
And what's their main goal?
What do you mean? What do you mean mingle?
Goal, main goal.
Oh, main goal. Sorry, main goal.
Yeah.
Well, main goal is obviously keeping their business alive and expand. And probably what they value the most is their business. Their main drive is keeping their business alive. And then obviously their crew, because they need the crew to run the business.
Yeah.
But everything else comes after that. But their main goal is maintaining a business, and maintaining a business is only possible by working with good charterers, making their vessels available to a good quality charterers. That is their main goal. Keep the business going. As I said earlier, I think I mentioned that earlier, minimizing the voyage legs, that there is no cargo on board. That is the worst case. That's the worst case for a ship owner. Ship owner doesn't want to have empty cargo holds or empty cargo tanks.
Yeah. What are the key risks that a ship owner might face?
Key risks. Well, their vessels being involved in a major incident, and they might lose the vessel, they might lose the crew. So that's asset risk and reputational risk. So if a fleet vessel or one of the vessels belong to a ship owner involves in a major incident, then the rest of their fleet most likely wouldn't get any business for a period of time from major charterers. Yeah, that's the biggest risk. And also another biggest risk is not being able to find finance. Private equity is no longer a major financing means in shipping. So there are quite a number of companies that are publicly listed now. So they have liabilities towards their shareholders. And even though the company is not publicly listed, the ship owner needs finance to grow their business. And that finance is external finance in most of the cases. It's no longer family money. There are a few exclusions, obviously, but I'm talking about broader market. So they need to prove the performance, efficiency of their fleet and how they efficiently run the business to lenders so they can get finance.
What would be the steps that they would take to overcome this sort of risk?
Well, investment. So if you are investing in good ships, then you have good ships to run, the good quality ships to run. And then if you invest in crew, you have good, well-trained, well-skilled, experienced crew members to run those well-built, good ships. And then these two, and then you invest in resources in the office for technical management, or you go in and give your ships to reputable management company, technical management company, and ensure there's supervision from the office side over a vessel, and good organization, good logistics, good support to the crew and the vessel to carry on performing well up to high standards. And you build a good track record. Then you work with good quality charters. Then you find a finance, and life is easier.
What will they do when their ship falls below acceptable ratings?
Well, they do everything to recover. Well, we provide them resolutions, paths to resolution. Those paths to resolution sometimes could help in short term. So like they provide a response, they provide an investigation report, or they get a right ship inspection and positive assessment of those items then lead to recovery of their safety score. But sometimes they just need time. They just need to have the time and prove that they are operating in a safe manner now. They have improved and they sustained, incident-free, detention-free safety performance that will allow them to recover over time. But sometimes the resolution is not possible immediately.
What happens when a cargo is damaged during shipment? What would they have to do?
Well, they have insurers. They have insurers. They have P&I clubs. So they will just let the right party know, and obviously the charter and cargo owner know, and then there are processes to deal with that. And then in most of the cases, it is a court case.
Do we have any understanding of what kind of tools they are currently using?
For what?
What are the tools they are currently using? Do we have any understanding?
Well, they have typical tools to run the vessel. As I mentioned earlier, under the technical management topic, technical managers need to cover a few different areas.
Yeah.
So, planned maintenance, that is one tool. There's a plan to perform maintenance activities of machinery and the vessel on board. So that's one tool. They have then safety management system tool. They might have a crewing tool. They have procurement tool to manage the supplies. They have, and then so these are the tools that they use on a daily basis. But then they might have go and purchase or subscribe for other tools, other service providers such as weather routing to get weather forecast reports for vessel or complete fleet. They might go in and work with companies providing efficiency solutions in terms of green shipping policies or targets. So there are companies that, you go in and work with them, and then they collect data, voyage data, and advise you about optimal voyage conditions of a ship, optimal storage conditions of a ship. So you burn less fuel, increase the fuel efficiency of the vessel, etc., etc. Weather forecast services can be used for the same purpose or similar purpose, to supplement each other with the other one. So these are the main tools really I can think of. Well, also well, obviously RightShip performance, RightShip platform is another tool that they use. Veson is another tool to report and record those NUN reports that I mentioned. So there might be other companies providing the similar service like Veson, but Veson is probably one of the biggest. As another one is Danos, DANOS, providing again a package service for all those things that I mentioned. You know, planned maintenance, safety management system, data reportings, etc., etc.
And so can we say that they are tech savvy?
They are open to digitalization.
So what are the RightShip features that they are currently using, other than the one that you mentioned?
Not much really. Not much. Same as technical managers.
Any understanding of what other features that they may be interested in?
Similar features that I mentioned under the technical management or vessel operator title.
I see. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the last role, the role of a charterer.
Okay.
So is a charterer a person or entity?
Entity.
And what is the role and responsibility of a charterer?
Charterer basically has the cargo and they need a vessel, they need a ship to transport that cargo from A to B. So their responsibility is either to the recipient of the cargo or, well, that is external, let's say it's external party, or their responsibilities to their internal customers, like could be a terminal, refinery, or other legs in the logistic chain that they are part of. So they are transporting the cargo, and their responsibility is to deliver it safely to the final destination. And they use ships to do that.
What are the main criteria when they are selecting a ship?
Well, the cost is obviously the one of the, if not the first, but one of the most important factor. How much would they pay to a ship owner? That is one big criteria. And then they look at other options like marine assurance. That's why they use our marine assurance service. They do vets. So they have to, if it's a big charterer, then those big corporate entities, they have their internal marine assurance policies, let's say marine quality policies, and charterers need to satisfy those internal requirements while fixing a ship. That is why they use RightShip services. So if the charterer is smaller and less aware of social responsibility topics, environmental topics, then they may not value a marine assurance topic as much as a good charter would do. So basically, when you're involved in marine assurance, then that includes how the vessel has been performing safely. So committed voyage, during the committed voyage, the charter is not involved in any incident or delays caused by that particular ship.
And what are the main types of chartering in shipping?
Main types? Well, there are two types of chartering. Well, there are time charters. Well, a charter could be employing a vessel for a longer period of time, which we call it time charter. So it could be 6 months time charter. It could be 12 months time charter. It could be 12 months time charter with an extension option, a clause, or renewal clause. And that's one type. So basically, you're committed to a vessel for a longer period of time. And another type is spot. So you have the cargo today, and you need the ship to be fixed today, and then you just need the vessel to carry that cargo from A to B. And as soon as the vessel arrives to B, the charter is done. So you no longer deal with that vessel. So that's what we call spot charter, which is very more dynamic market, because you have to make a quicker decision, because that ship may not be available 10 minutes later and might be taken by another charter, especially if the market conditions are tight. So there are charters trading, transporting their own cargo, or there are charters trading a commodity. So if you're trading a commodity, then obviously commodity prices are fluctuating, and few minutes might make a difference about the cost you pay to that particular commodity. If you're so that's why it's important for you to fix it much quicker. If you're a charter that you are transporting your own cargo, then probably the biggest, more important issue for you is finding the freight rates, the fee you pay to a ship owner to charter the vessel. Again, it could be quite critical if the freight rates are fluctuating and are more in favor of the ship owner, or there are limited number of vessels in the market. So again, they need a quicker decision. For time charter or longer commitments, the period to make a decision is slightly more relaxed. But time is critical. Is critical because, like for instance, RightShip Services main large part within this fixtures. We are important element for charterers to complete the deals, and the response time, our response time, is critical for their business.
And are ships rating important to a charterer?
Yes, it is.
What would be their key consideration when engaging a ship owner?
So there are plenty of charterers, either our customer or not. They take the safety score as their base criteria. So there are plenty of charter parties in dry bulk market, require vessel safety score to be 3. So this is a known and common clause, and this clause is used by almost everyone in dry bulk market, regardless they're a member to us or not. So that is one important point. That's in industry standard. So hence it's important to everyone. So some of our members, they only look at safety score, and we call it score surfing, and never engage with vetting. But there are plenty of other chartering customers. They consider the safety score perhaps somewhere in the process, but it is not the whole product for them. So they go in and submit vetting request to get the complete assessment of a ship before they finalize the deal.
And how do they evaluate the credibility of a ship owner?
Well, credibility of the ship owner, well, there are other factors than the safety score or safety performance, obviously. Previous engagement with the ship owner is one important factor for a charterer. Their history with that particular ship owner. The ship owner's financial strength is another one. No one wants to work with a ship owner that could be in a financial difficulty or distress. And then obviously safety score and safety performance and vetting performance of the vessel is of the ship owner is another factor.
What sort of ship information would they be looking out for?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, in the process of engaging with a ship, they ask for certain vessel specifications, which we covered under the questionnaire. So basically that includes vessels emissions or factors that are contributing to vessel emissions, vessel capacity details, vessel's main dimensions so to ensure vessel can fit into or get into that nominated port, either at loading port or discharging destination. And vessels safety records, which we provide them with.
What will influence them in the selection of ships?
Rates, money, the fee that pay for a ship. That's 100% important. And then depending on, again, their commitment and awareness towards ESG, then they consider vessel safety, and then vessels efficiency in terms of emissions. And vessels availability is another point, obviously, when vessel is available, right? That's key.
How do they protect themselves against cargo liabilities from happening?
But there are cargo insurance.
Okay.
There are insurance to cover that.
And are charterers concerned about pollution and its potential impact?
Yes. Yes. They are, even though they don't have equal reputational risk as ship owner has, it is still a risk to them. But I think the main issue that charters are facing is
Yeah.
The delay in their logistics. So when vessel is delayed for one reason or another, this could be pollution, this could be, machinery failure, engine failure, stoppage or detention, whatever. There are contractual clauses to protect the damages. But those clauses are there to cover your financial losses, right? But losses are already happened. So you need to deliver the product, commodity, to a power plant on a certain day, right? And if something happens during the voyage, this could be either pollution or stoppage or delay for any other reason, your delivery to power plant is delayed. And that could impact the operations in the power plant. Power plant might shut down. So you might recover your losses that are caused by the vessel delays, and you get paid. But there are other, it's linked, right? It's like a domino impact. So there are other risks that are exposed to, that charters are exposed to.
And how do they, what do they do to kind of like overcome this risk?
Well, that's why they use vetting services.
Oh, okay. So do we have any understanding of what kind of tools they are currently using?
They use Reuters. They use Vesen so basically vessels availability and monitoring vessels availability is one important thing. So there are tools that give visibility to charters, based on the area that they are looking at, they can see which ships are there. They also use tools to monitor voyage data. So Vesen is one of them.
Yeah.
Then, they calculate, so platforms like Vesen, they help charters to calculate demurrage, stoppages or delays that could cause the payments between ship owners and charterer. So basically, the vessel performance tools throughout the voyage or throughout the charter party, let's say, that's common tool. Every charter use that. And then other trading tools. And also they use platforms that provide more detailed information for KYC.
KYC. What does KYC stands for?
Know your customer.
Oh, I see.
It's basically sanction tools.
I see. Yep. So can we safely say that they are digitally inclined?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are the RightShip features are they currently using?
So they're currently using the safety score platform, so the vetting services, and GHG rating is a part of vetting, and I think very little of them use carbon accounting tool. Yeah, that's it, really.
I see. What do you think, what other features would they be interested in?
Well, this is a difficult question. well, more advanced tool that could provide them their carbon footprint or other emissions, other emission calculations would be, I think, incredibly useful. Less labor incentive tools, they need to do less in manual, so the more like they can see the data straight away. And obviously, so because we provide only one leg within their business, and no one likes to use multiple screens. No one likes to use multiple platforms to complete one deal.
Yeah.
So if they could see everything in one platform, this could be vessels location. This could be, I don't know, vessels availability, vessels, questionnaire, ship owners details, other performance indicators or performance data that they have to monitor on a daily basis in one platform, then probably that would make their lives easier. Because what motivates people to opt in a service? To reduce the workload, make their operations more effective, and and make everyone's life easier. So efficiency come with an ease on a day-to-day activities.
I think that's a good point. All right, I think we are come to an end of this session. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Was it useful at all?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, as we go along the session, I do feel that there's a lot of points that are very useful for our research. Thank you so much for today, and can I invite you for future sessions?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, Zoe. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been taking up some
have a great
of
weekend.
your time, but thank you, and have a good year.
You too. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.